Hurricane Irma has already rushed through 5 countries, and Florida is bracing for what is to come. More in weather.
Dreamers in the DACA program are facing harsh realities this week. We have reactions in our lead report.
And football has returned. We'll have a full preview of what you can expect from this week in sports.
Changes behind the scenes for Star Wars Episode 9. Find out how it affects production in entertainment. Newscene starts right now.
Welcome to this week's episode of Newscene. I'm Thomas Chessie.
And I'm Nora Mitchell.
Following the devastation of Hurricane Harvey over the past few weeks, Jack D'Amicis is here with an update on another stronger hurricane moving toward Florida.
Thanks, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. With Hurricane Irma quickly approaching the East Coast, both the governor of Florida and President Donald Trump declared a state of emergency, and evacuations of the residents are mandatory. They may get a double hit from now, Cat 4 Hurricane Jose. Stay tuned for more in weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
President Donald Trump made a decision on Tuesday to put an end to DACA. Here is Celia Jimenez with reactions from the San Diego community on our lead report.
Last Tuesday, the wait was over and DACA recipients had finally an answer. Many believe the move will only affect dreamers, but it goes beyond that. The country will have economical losses and more than 1,000 of jobs will be lost every month if Congress doesn't agree in protecting DACA recipients.
It made me have hope in my...
Last Tuesday, the hope of dreamers were crushed.
The program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
These words put 800,000 dreamers in limbo. Reactions travel fast, and within hours, people across the country organized rallies and marches in support of DACA. In San Diego, hundreds met at the Quanti building next to Waterfront Park with signs and flags. People from different ages and races united for one common purpose: to back DACA. The Federal Act for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, gave dreamers what many consider basic rights, like getting a job, an ID, or access to higher education.
We gain these opportunities to move forward and to give back to our community. Like, if I get my master's degree, I'm not just going to want to go away to a different country and get those benefits to the country. I want to stay here and help the children here who need my help.
Stating they will do whatever they can to restore the program. According to a study from the Center of America, nearly 90% of dreamers are working, and removing them from the workforce will cost more than $460 billion of gross domestic product in the next decade. Medicare and Social Security contributions will also drop about $25 billion. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Celia. The Associated Student Government at San Diego City College will be hosting events for DACA recipients in the upcoming weeks. Student trustee and ASG president Ignacio Hernandez is a current DACA recipient. He says he's worried about the end of the program and what it will mean, and will he be able to attend UCLA for transfer. As president of the ASG, he will be taking action to bring students together and create pathways for DACA recipients to feel safe and connected in their education. Hernandez says he's making the changes as the semester progresses.
In other news, California Governor Jerry Brown signed a new law which states that California police will soon be barred from arresting crime victims or witnesses due to actual or suspected immigration violation, which means undocumented civilians who follow the law will not be subject to jail for reporting a crime or serving as a witness. California is home to a significant portion of the country's undocumented population. The new law was signed last Friday and will be implemented on January 1st.
Tempers flared in Barrio Logan when a group of 5 right-wing activists showed up at Chicano Park last Sunday. Organized by Roger Ogden, the group planned to eat pizza at Chicano Park for what they called the Patriot Picnic and then tour the murals. Ogden, who's behind a network of anti-Islam and anti-immigrant websites and social media accounts, said an email campaign has been started to remove the murals. Hundreds of people came out in an attempt to protect the park's murals against what they saw as a threat by white supremacists. Police escorted the activists from Chicano Park for their own safety.
San Diego gas prices are rising to their highest level since 2015. The average price of a gallon is $3.14, which represents a 42.5-cent increase over 2 years ago. The community reacts to the sudden increase here in this bit.
The gasoline prices right now, they're really expensive. I have to put like $40 on my tank every 2 days.
Even though California's gasoline doesn't come from the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Harvey affected the entire supply chain of oil and petroleum. Authorities expect gas prices to begin falling by next week.
The city of Sacramento will be paying graduating gang members a cash stipend to keep them out of trouble in the street. City council members approved a controversial program called Advance Peace that offers gang members $1.5 million in cash as a stipend to end crime acts around the city. The money will come directly from the city's general fund. Many residents are afraid this will uplift crime acts instead of decreasing them. However, critics still remain skeptical that the program will take effect.
Former District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis announced her intention to run for the County Board of Supervisors. Dumanis, a Republican, resigned in July after nearly 15 years as the county's district attorney. One of the most controversial moments during her career was when she was accused of taking illegal foreign contributions. She declared she thought her supporter was a U.S. citizen. She said in a statement, quote, "We need leaders who can put aside ambition and partisanship and focus on what's best for our diverse communities," unquote.
And a deadly hepatitis outbreak is hitting San Diego's homeless population especially hard. The infection has claimed the lives of more than a dozen people, according to a County Health and Human Services Agency report. The outbreak is reportedly the deadliest of its kind since 1999. Hepatitis A attacks the liver and is often spread through food contaminated when someone does not wash.
Major feats have been accomplished in the world of baseball. Find out which teams made history coming up in sports.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Tensions are rising at an alarming rate between Russia and the U.S. The Trump administration announced the closing of a Russian consulate in San Francisco. New York, Houston, and Seattle are also homes to Russian consulates. The U.S. State Department is not requiring Russian diplomats to return home. They may be reassigned to other posts in the U.S.
Improving ties with Russia may come to an end after the U.S. closed 3 Russian consulates earlier this week. Russian President Vladimir Putin threatened to sue the U.S. for violation of property rights of the Russian Federation. While the U.S. was acting within their legal rights, Putin believes it was done in, quote, such a rude way, unquote. While the U.S. could see a legal complaint in the near future, Putin may also eliminate 155 U.S. diplomats currently in Russia. For the time being, Russia will not take action until a response from the Trump administration has been made.
Officials at Facebook told congressional investigators Wednesday that they discovered they sold $100,000 in ads to a shady Russian company targeting U.S. voters. According to Facebook's chief security officer, the ads were purchased through around 470 inauthentic accounts from June 2015 to May 2017. In a statement to the Washington Post, Facebook said there is evidence that some of the accounts are linked to a troll farm in St. Petersburg, referred to as the Internet Research Agency. Facebook has yet to release any of the ads it traced to Russian companies or entities.
The credit reporting company Equifax says a massive hack has compromised the personal information of as many as 143 million Americans, almost half the country. Hackers accessed information including names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, and even driver's license numbers. Equifax also said credit card numbers for about 209,000 U.S. customers were exposed. The company said the breach happened between mid-May and July and was discovered on July 29th. To see if your information is at risk, and for free credit monitoring service, you can go to Equifax.com.
North Korea has tested a new weapon, raising fears to people around the area. The hydrogen bomb is the country's 6th nuclear test, according to seismic readings. The blast caused a 6.3 magnitude earthquake that is yet to be confirmed. Hydrogen bombs have a larger yield than more common atomic weapons. Even though it is a smaller bomb, it will cause greater devastation.
Hillary Clinton is getting ready to get back into the public eye. This Sunday on CBS This Morning, Hillary Clinton will give her first public interview since the 2016 election. She'll be sitting down with CBS News' Jane Pauley to discuss her highly anticipated new book, What Happened. In the interview, Clinton addresses some of her frustrations in the wake of losing the election and her thoughts on President Donald Trump.
Sports talk radio host Craig Carton was arrested in Manhattan before dawn Wednesday on federal charges including fraud, conspiracy, and racketeering. He allegedly used a Ponzi scheme and concert ticket selling scam to raise millions of dollars to settle gambling debts. Carton's longtime co-host, former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason of WFAN and CBS Sports Network TV's Boomer and Carton show, was released on bond shortly after his arrest. He has been suspended indefinitely.
It's been a big week for women's soccer and Major League Baseball. And of course, the biggest news, football is officially back. Here's Carlton with the details.
Thanks, guys. A lot has been going on in sports this week, and we're going to lead it off with some baseball. Earlier this week, the Red Sox were caught in what many are calling Watchgate. Yankees general manager Brian Cashman tipped the MLB to the video the club had showing the Sox stealing signs. While stealing signs is not an unusual part of the game, the Red Sox were using Apple Watches. These watches allowed trainers to receive pitch signals from video replay, which was then relayed to the players. The Red Sox have now filed claim against the Yankees, accusing them of using their broadcaster's camera to steal signs. Yankee GM Joe Girardi has fired back, saying it's simply untrue. The MLB has yet to decide how they will discipline Boston. Now, the Cleveland Indians have been on a blazing streak lately, to say the least. Last night, they snagged their 15th straight win, breaking their franchise record. Cleveland is also the first team in 8 years to win at least 14 games in back-to-back seasons. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Arizona Diamondbacks are still in pursuit of the wild-card berth when they won their 13th straight, also breaking a franchise record. 2017 is the first season to date where multiple teams have an active winning streak of at least 13 games. As Hurricane Irma barrels through South Florida, several sporting events have been either canceled or rescheduled. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Miami Dolphins game has been pushed back to Week 11, which both teams have scheduled for a bye. USF, UConn, Florida State, and Northern Colorado are just some of the college teams facing cancellation due to the hurricane. The Atlanta Braves are welcoming and even offering free tickets to those displaced for a series against the Miami Marlins. Now, San Diego, I have just one question for you. Are you ready for some football? While most of the NFL will be gearing up for Week 1, as we know, the Dolphins and Bucs will not play due to Hurricane Irma. But no need to fret, there will still be plenty of action on Sunday. A clash of the Titans will take place when the Green Bay Packers host the Seattle Seahawks. The Packers' dominant offense will go to battle with the infamous Seattle defense. Later that night, the Dallas Cowboys will take on their NFC rival, the New York Giants. And in a twist of plot, their star running back Ezekiel Elliott's suspension will be put on hold, and he will play out the entire 2017 NFL season, and the Cowboys are in favor to win over the Giants. Finally, the Denver Broncos will host the Los Angeles Chargers for Monday Night Football. So the real question for San Diego is deciding whether to cheer for or against your former home team. Now in some local news, the City College Knights women's soccer team is off to a 3-1 start, their best in 14 years. 3 wins in a row has everyone excited, and even our new president, Dr. Ricky Shabazz, was checking out a game. On the Blue Horse Service podcast, head coach Guillermo Medina was asked about the team's recent success. He emphasized, quote, "It's all the ladies." Medina also noted that the camaraderie and collegiality playing a part that has built such a great season to come. That's going to wrap us up here in sports. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Carlton. A man who admitted to killing his ex-wife in a San Diego City College bathroom is now on trial. More on that case after the break.
And coming up in entertainment, the creator of Rick and Morty has some fun with megachurch pastor Joel Osteen.
The trial of a
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Step by step, person by person, we can make it possible to cut poverty in half by 2020.
It's all in your hands. So give, advocate, volunteer with United Way today.
The trial of a man who admits he killed his ex-wife in a City College bathroom in 2010 continues. Armando Perez confessed the killing in 2014, but a judge threw out the plea because he entered it without a lawyer present. Authorities described the murder as brutal, as Perez allegedly carved expletives into the victim's back. Perez was arrested on charges he kidnapped his ex-wife, but was released due to lack of evidence.
Another club rush has come and gone, but that does not mean you're too late to join a club on campus. If you missed this week's 3-day event, or maybe you did not find a group you were looking for, it's not too late. Students can still find the Student Clubs page on the City College website to see a list of student groups with contact information. You can also go to the M building and talk to a student affairs representative to help find what you're looking for. And if you still can't find a club of your dreams, the Student Affairs Office will always be available to help you start your own club.
And there will be a suicide prevention fair next week hosted by City College Mental Health Counseling. Mental health counselors and peers will be on hand for assistance. There will also be yoga demonstrations, a DJ, art and meditation activities, as well as a photo booth and free pizza while it lasts. The event will be next Wednesday, the 13th, from 11 to 2 in the Upper BT Quad. For more information, visit City College Mental Health Counseling online or in room BT 105.
Next week, the World Cultures program at San Diego City College is hosting a History of Rock and Roll lecture and concert. Sonically guiding you through the ages of rock and roll are music industry veterans Bart Mendoza and the True Stories. The event is free and will start at 12:45 at the Seville Theater.
It's been a week of inspiration for fans of Chance the Rapper and reports of disappointment at the box office. Here's Devon with this week's entertainment report.
Director Colin Trevorrow, who has been attached to the Direct Stars episode, has been exited to project followed creative differences with Lucasfilm. In a statement with Lucasfilm, Trevorrow has a mutual agreement that their vision's project was different. However, the reporter suggested that it was an uneasy alliance. According to the report, script issues plagued a development which led to Jack Throne being hired in August to rewrite a script play. Sources told the outlet Trevorrow's relationship with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has been unmanageable. Potential candidates to direct the film are Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams. The 2017 box office posted the lowest cumulative total since 2016. According to EW, summer 2017 gross was $3.8 billion, which sounds like a lot of cash, but actually it's a 4% decline from last year. A difference to pinpoint the exact reason for why was a word of mouth. Probably has something to do with that. Several of the films underperformed from the time from August to May, which was a negative hurt to their financial costs. Pirates of the Caribbean transforms The Mummy, where critics proved that this U.S. audience weren't interested in what they had to offer. A lot of celebrities came across the nation to deliver donations for the Hurricane Harvey victims. A YouTube channel, H3 Podcast, started their own hurricane relief campaign, featuring Rick and Morty, the co-creator Justin Rollins. In a video of Justin prank calls the Joel Osteen prayer hotline while voicing an anime persona, Rick Sanchez.
I have over $87,000. And I am ready. I have $83,897 right now for Joel Osteen. And I'm ready to pray.
H3 Podcast goal was to raise $100,000. Right now, currently, they have raised $150,000. If you are looking forward to donate, visit www.tillify.com/event/H3 Hurricane Relief. A well-known artist creates his own award show for the school teachers. Chance the Rapper is showing Chicago educators his recognition and support for the community while getting students prepared for upcoming school year. Chance partnerships social works with state bags and gives out 30,000 backpacks filled with school supplies inside, ready for them to start back to school. Being on helping hands, this is nothing new to Chance the Rapper, receiving a reward from BET 2017 from Michelle Obama, guiding the youth. The award show will be set to June 2018 in June. A British couple is expecting a new one on the way. The UK's royal couple announces that Kate is pregnant with her third child, suffering from severe morning sickness, experienced the first and last child. The baby is now sixth in line for the King of Throne, and Prince William is Kate's reportedly considering unisex names until further notice. And that's all the entertaining news that we have. Back at the desk. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Devon. We'll update you on Hurricane Irma and what the weekend has in store for us coming up next on weather.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. The whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
Thanks.
With Hurricane Irma about to bear down on Florida, here's Jack Demikas with the latest on what's happening with the storm track.
Hurricane Irma has caused airlines to ground flights going to Florida, which has caused a lot of travelers to go to different destinations. We actually had reporters had an opportunity to catch up with travelers in Chicago, and this is what their concerns were.
I'm more worried about my wife, who's not able to get out of Naples, so I have to go and be with her. And she's with her brother, who's ill and can't travel. Concerning for all of us and a lot of stress.
My parents are there, and my mom is not well, so I can't leave my dad alone during the storm just in case something happens.
How worried are you?
Very worried.
I went and purchased an extra suitcase in order to take canned goods. I've got bread in order to take home. So we just want to make sure that we get home and everybody's prepared.
One of the main worries as Irma approaches Florida is that many are comparing it to Hurricane Andrew from 1992. Hurricane Andrew was about half the size of Irma, but it came from the east to the west, and it only actually just struck the tip of Florida. Now, Hurricane Irma is about twice as large, and it's coming from the Bahamas through the state and up north. So we're going to see it actually hitting the entire state as it's traveling up, as to where Andrew actually just skipped right over the state. Meteorologist Danielle Banks has pointed out this is the first time that there are 255+ mile-an-hour storms in the Atlantic at the same time. Hurricane Jose is coming up on Irma and has just been upgraded to a Category 4. Irma is moving, and as last night, there was an 8.1 magnitude earthquake that struck off the coast of southern Mexico and / Central America. The TV station Farah was live on air as it struck. And the TV station, you can actually see the lights shaking side to side. And the TV station was live on air, and the camera actually panned up to see the lights were going side to side, and the anchor tried to hang out, tried to be cool, but he quickly got up and dipped out of there. And as we're looking at the studio camera, we see that the entire studio is shaking while he's just trying to get to safety. When we get a chance to check out the security cameras, we see that the entire city is shaking with the thunder and lightning in the background. There have been a reported 32 deaths and over 200 injuries so far. We will keep you updated as more information comes in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weekend forecast. On Friday, we're going to be looking at about a high of 78, a mid of 66 with 0% precipitation. And on Saturday, it's going to be a 79 high with a low of 67 with a 10% chance. And on Sunday and Monday, it's actually going to be about the same with a high of 79 and a mid of 68 with a 10% chance. That's all the time I have. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks very much, Jack. This week saw the end of a record-breaking space mission. 57-year-old Peggy Whitson returned to Earth after 280 days in orbit, longer than any other female astronaut. Whitson and 2 crewmates landed in Kazakhstan on Saturday during the flight back to the U.S. She received a special phone call from President Trump congratulating her on her accomplishment. Trump said she's an inspiration to us all, especially to the young women interested or currently pursuing careers in science, technology, engineering, and math. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Newscene. You've seen all the traffic lately. What's that been like for you trying to get to school?
Oh, it's terrible. It's I have a feeling people are distracted by their radios or listening to all the updates on all the crazy weather and just natural phenomenons that we've had going on in this crazy mixed up world of ours.
Definitely. We've had
it's been
earthquakes in Mexico.
Quite a lot to talk about this
2
week
hurricanes.
in terms of weather.
There are actually 3 hurricanes going on in the Atlantic right now, one off the coast of Mexico, one near Florida, and then another in the mid-Atlantic that looks like it might hit the Caribbean again, actually the same islands that were hit by Irma in the last few days where you saw the damage there. So they could get another devastating hurricane, possibly.
Not to mention the 8.1 earthquake that was reported last night in Chiapas State in Mexico. I mean...
Exactly. Well, that's all the time we have for us tonight.
We get the message.
Thanks so much for joining us this week on Newscene. We'll see you next week.
Next week, all your latest